family on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
The Kenny and JT Show is brought to you by Rooster's Wings and More. Be fun. Be casual.
The Kenny and JT Show is not responsible for bad takes, broken Browns hearts, or Kenny and JT knowing absolutely nothing. Please enjoy the show, and remember, the Cavs, Guardians, and Browns have already suffered enough.
So here we go.
These guys have a lot to say, and they never stop talking.
If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
Sky's the limit and space is the place.
Ooh, yeah. Live from News Talk 1480 WHBC.
It's a household name.
You understand me?
It's Kenny and JT.
Have a great show!
All right, we'll do just that. Come on in. It's the Wednesday edition of the Kenny and JT Show. We're coming to you live in the corner of 6th and Market. Beautiful downtown Canton, Ohio, where it happens to be 78 degrees right now in this Hall of Fame city. And let's all get back. Are you ready? Brian, I asked you for one song. One song request to begin the program today. Can we do it? Hit it. Oh, yeah. They're back in Berea. Welcome back, campers. Stay a while.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Ain't as good as NFL films, but it'll have to work today. First day of official training camp for your Cleveland Browns. Oh boy, do we have a lot of news to get to. I'm going to start right here. With the way we started the program yesterday, I said LeBron James isn't coming back. Probably not going to get Francisco Lindor back, or even Baker Mayfield, who apparently going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. But what about this? News broke a couple hours ago. It seems as though they're entertaining the idea, or at least invited him in for a look-see, Jadeveon Clowney. Oh boy, isn't this going to be a fun season. So you're telling me is we don't have a quarterback, and maybe you're going to entertain the idea of bringing back Jadeveon Clowney. Apparently, he's in town. NFL Network's Mike Garofalo reported it. Mary Kay Cabot reported it as well. And even Scotty Petrak considering signing Jadeveon Clowney. Now remember, when he left the last time, he pointed the finger at the upper-level brass and, of course, you know, the head coach at the time, Kevin Stefanski, and they were claiming, or his claims basically, that they were making things among Jim Schwartz easier for Myles Garrett in order to break a sack record, and he was upset that he left and blah, blah, blah. Well, Myles Garrett's gone. Come on back, Jadeveon. Stay a while. He's not the only one that might be coming back, and we'll tell you more about the Guardians a little bit later on, who they may be entertaining to bring back when we get closer to the trade deadline on Monday, August 3rd, but it will not be Francisco Lindor. Other news in Berea today, and we're going to hear from the head coach and probably some of the players as well because they spoke today. Grant Delpit agrees to a 3-year extension, basically going to pay him about $16 million a year. I don't know where this money comes from. Going to hear from Todd Monken, going to hear from Denzel Ward, who signed a huge extension yesterday. But let's start with the quarterback question because obviously you're going to hear the head coach be asked a zillion questions about has he decided on who the starter is going to be. I look at it this way. See if you agree with me. And then, of course, phone lines are going to be open today at 330-450-1480. Deshaun Watson, when you made the deal for him, has played basically 19 games. It's the second time this year, if he's healthy, that he's coming off of not playing at least 600 days. It was over 700 between his final stint with the Houston Texans and then after the suspension, and more than 600 days since he last played when he blew out his Achilles against the Bengals back in 2024. And yet you're telling me there's a quarterback controversy. I understand there's a new head coach. I understand there's new offensive coordinator, new coaches, new receivers, and everything else. But if you don't know who your starter is now, does that mean you're not committed to Shedeur Sanders? To me, I think it kind of does. Clearly, we know Watson was a swing and a miss. The owner said so. But now all of a sudden there's a quarterback controversy. So if there's a competition this year, this is the way my mind is wired, the competition next year could be this if you're not committing to Shedeur Sanders. Whoever they draft next year versus Dylan Gabriel. No one talks about Dylan Gabriel. They don't talk about Dylan Gabriel maybe being trade candidate. Dylan Gabriel hasn't said as much as he wanted to be traded away. If Shedeur Sanders isn't your starter, you decide what to do with Deshaun Watson. You're not going to keep him. You're not going to sign him to an extension. He's going to be let go somehow, some way. whether they try to trade him or whatever. Maybe they cut him after this year. I don't know. But if Dylan Gabriel's still on the papers, maybe it's a quarterback competition next year between Dylan Gabriel and whoever you draft. Because let's face it, with multiple first-round draft picks next year, and they've got 11 draft picks total next season, obviously everyone's idea, at least in sports talk world, is the fact that they're going to be looking for their next quarterback, and they're going to want to draft him next year. Keep an eye on that story. Unless, of course, stranger things happen, like this. Deshaun Watson ends up being your starter and has a level of success that brings him back to the superpowers that he had when he was with Houston, or Shedeur Sanders does the same. Short of being an all-pro quarterback and taking the team into a deep run into the playoffs, I don't believe they're committed to Shedeur Sanders. But if he has a breakout year, what do you do then? Do you gamble and hope that maybe he can do the same thing the following year? Or do you draft another quarterback? Because if you draft another quarterback, then it sets you back another couple of years. Because no rookie quarterback is going to have any level of success in the NFL. It's just not geared that way. So it's going to be interesting to see what this team does, because clearly with these extensions to Ward and Grant Delpit, it's telling you that they feel that they've got a pretty decent team. Otherwise, why do you do that? Why wouldn't you just break it down? If you're not sure who your quarterback is, and we know you really can't compete if you don't have a franchise quarterback, but we haven't had one in 30 years. Would you consider, instead of giving these huge extensions, or are you trying to make a statement to your fan base saying this? We know how upset you may have been when we let Myles Garrett go. We wanted to keep him. We gave him a big extension, but he still wanted to go. They made us an offer that was too good to be true. It was too good to refuse. The old, The Godfather. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Okay. Well, if that's the deal, see you later, Myles Garrett. And everybody looked at it and said, okay, well, it seems like they're breaking this thing down. They don't want to tell you they're rebuilding. They're never going to tell you that. But if you did that, why wouldn't you take a chance and see what you could get in the trade waters with Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit as well? Now, I know they're two key parts of that defense, but if you're not planning to win anything this year, what difference does it make? So we'll continue, and like I say, today's the first day of training camp. It's hard to look at the Browns season when you haven't played a game yet and get down on this team, of course, unless you consider the fact that they've won 8 games in the last 2 years. We're all 0-0. Anything could happen. I'm not setting myself up for this again the way I have in years past. But at the same time, I want to be able to root for my favorite team and hope that they can be competitive. Guardians last night had 3 hits in the nightcap. Shut out again. That's 9 times they've been shut out this year. And they blow a great start by Gavin Williams. He went 7 innings strong, threw over 100 pitches, struck out 12, gave up 3 hits and only 2 earned runs. In the last 4 games, the Guardians have scored a total of 6 runs, and they all came in 1 game. Gavin Williams has struck out 10 or more in his last 4 starts. It hasn't been done since Shane Bieber did it in 2021. So you blow a great outing and lose a bullpen game to the Reds. They had a bullpen game. So we looked to the trade deadline, and as I told you yesterday, I don't know what you expect. For a while, it looked like the Guardians' primary focus would be for a right-handed hitter. But with the offense floundering the way they have and the way they do, they'll probably consider a full range of upgrades. Somebody like, ready for this? Welcome back, Cotter. Lane Thomas of the Royals might be a fit. Well, at least he knows where his locker is. He's hitting .230 with 10 homers. .230 he's hit.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Now, the dude wasn't that bad, and he fought injury. But get this. .230 with 10 homers means that Lane Thomas is hitting higher than Kyle Manzardo at .211, higher than Angel Martinez at .224, higher than Patrick Bailey at 196, higher than Speedy Petey at 204, higher than Reese Hoskins at 173, and only 5 points lower than Jose Ramirez. Why not? Wouldn't cost that much. Gives you an outfielder that you need. Even though yesterday I said it seems as though Speedy Petey Halpin is emerging as maybe your everyday center fielder, I'd rather have Lane Thomas. Why wouldn't you? Because this team's going to play the same way no matter who you get, because you don't have the money to go out and get a Juan Soto if he were available, a Francisco Lindor if he's available. It seems as though the Mets may not be wanting to trade him now, but I know you're not going to put him in the outfield. My problem is this. You need an outfielder. You need a stick. Did you see Lindor the other night? Man, looked like he was going to hit 3 home runs in one game. Kenny texted me this morning, wondered if I'd seen this, and of course I have. It's everywhere from X to the repository. Sham Sharani on this Max Kellerman podcast with Rich Paul spilled the beans on the Cavs, and they met with LeBron James in Akron in early July. If you haven't heard it, I want you to take a listen to this.
Now, you tell me, Rich, if I'm right or wrong. Is it the Cavs front office group, Kobe Altman, Brandon Weems, the Gilbert family, Grant Gilbert?
Okay. What are you referring to? What happened?
Meeting with LeBron in Akron in early July. Is that the loaf of bread you're talking about?
Early July? Wait a minute. How did you know about that?
I couldn't say,
So you thought this got by Shams, but he has all the details.
I thought it got by Shams because
like
he never said anything to me about that. Nobody knew about that. That did not get out nowhere. Nobody knew about that.
Why was this not reportable?
Time.
Why did you not report it?
So in real time, the integrity aspect matters more than anything, because this was information I was told by multiple people on background, off the record. This was something that ethically I couldn't report because, one, it wasn't told to me in a way that I was able to have reporter go double check and triple check. It was told to me off the record.
If someone, in other words, if someone says, "Hey, I can tell you on background, but this is off the record,"
this cannot
and you
be
agree to
reported,
that, then you can't burn them.
And I
right?
report that. That's
that's
unethically,
that's journalistically
and
unethical.
as we spoke about earlier on this show, like, for me, responsibility is
Journalistic
important.
integrity.
Being upfront is important. Ethically doing the job the right way. My job is to tell the truth, but also if it's off the record and it's being told, like, this isn't reportable.
Right.
But if you talk about
and if I did that, you're burning the source. And the other side of it is also this is, the history of LeBron in Cleveland, and what he means to that organization, and, something like that. And that's probably why it was told to me off the record, right? Because if that were, something that got out, I do think in real time it does lead on a little bit.
Okay, this is how powerful the internet is. Because I had no idea Max Kellerman even had a podcast until yesterday. Now, all of a sudden, my question is this. And by the way, Rich Paul, you're the worst actor in the history of online podcasts, because there ain't no way he didn't know about this. But does he represent Max Kellerman? Why all of a sudden is Max Kellerman making the rounds, and how does he get Shams Charania? Or is Shams being represented as well by Rich Paul? I'm not buying it. I don't know if we should discuss it or just move on. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit exhausted by it all. What say you? 330-450-1480. Because when Rich Paul says, how did you hear that? How did you know that? I mean, it's like, okay, he didn't really say anything. He didn't really talk about what they said, because the other thing would be this. Okay, let's say they're not acting. Let's say they were totally taken by surprise. Then what the hell were they talking about if indeed they did meet in Akron, which a lot of people said that they did. We all had heard that story. Now all of a sudden Rich Paul's taken us by surprise by this? We had heard, a month ago, LeBron James is meeting with Daniel Gilbert in Akron. Okay. Well, one of two things either happened. LeBron James sat down with him and said, I want this, and this. And Gilbert said, we can't give you this, that, and the other thing. or he led them to believe that he was coming home. What else could it be? But since it's still making its round and the NFL hasn't started yet, all of a sudden, maybe ESPN should reconsider rehiring Max Kellerman. If this guy is as popular as he thinks he is, I'd never heard of this thing. Max Kellerman, to me, is a boxing guy. Not to say that he can't be a good sports talk show host. Hell, I don't even know if I'm one, but I do know this. That's a bunch of crap right there that we just listened to. But it's making its round. Everybody picks it up. Oh, still headline news. Is it? Do you believe it? I don't believe it. There's no way Rich Paul doesn't know every move LeBron James made and or didn't leak this to Shams. Because if Shams knew it, and journalistic integrity or not, something would have been leaked had there been a story there. So what they met? We had heard for weeks. LeBron talked to Draymond Green. LeBron talked to Steph Curry. LeBron James is talking to Jaylen Brown. I mean, what happened in this so-called meeting? Did the Cavaliers express interest to LeBron James? Or did they tell them that they weren't going after Jaylen Brown? If he told them we're not going after Jaylen Brown and LeBron looked at the lineup and said, I can't win here, I don't want to come here, then what difference does it make? Because if you look at this lineup and you look at this roster, is that the reason? Is that the thing that really drove LeBron James to not want to come here? Or was he really never in the running? See, we're just never going to know this. Because when you look at the rest of this lineup, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, James Harden, Jared Allen, Max Strus, Dennis Schroeder right now. Maybe LeBron James looks at it and says, like that guy, don't like that guy, can play with him, can't play with him, don't want to play here. Okay, fine, let's move on. But when will you make your decision? Because we need to make other moves. No, I'm not going to make it till the end of July. Okay, fine. Move on. As I said, I'm a little bit tired of the whole situation. It's exhausting. Let's move on. Let's look and see next year if they're all they're cracked up to be. I said yesterday, I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers are a deep enough organization. But I also said, I thought and I felt that the Cavaliers were deeper last year than they were the year before. Well, it proved to be wrong, even though they went a little bit deeper into the playoffs. They got some work to do. Mentioned yesterday, we're on to Pro Football's greatest weekend. So we're going to get out in front of this. Check out these guests we have joining us today on the program. Hall of Fame Enshrinement event producer. This is huge. This man has produced Pro Football NFL halftime shows like the one Prince was in, like the one Beyonce was in. He's done all kinds of stuff, including the Indianapolis 500. Frank Sapovitz from New York City is going to join us in a matter of minutes. A little bit closer to home, or living at home, I should say, Dennis Manzella, chairman of the Sugardale Fan Fest at Stadium Park next week, going to join us. And if that ain't enough, how about this? Break out the big guns today. We got the mayor on this program. That's right, there he is. You see him on Facebook. You see him on our YouTube channel. What a good-looking guy that is. Mayor of the great city of Canton, Ohio, the Honorable Bill Shearer. We're going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour, which means he'll be here at about 5:25. Right. Let's get a quick break in. We've got time for a few phone calls toward the bottom of the hour. If you'd like to join us, all those topics and more. What do you think of the Browns? What do you think of the Cavaliers? What do you think about Pro Football's greatest weekend and more? At 330-450-1480, Hump Day version of the Kenny and JT Show.